gentlemen, welcome, girls and boys of all sizes. This is the ASUS All-Star Weekend. My name is Reed Rapid Belton. Joining me once again, as always, is Joshua Fekez Quest. And we are ready to get this All-Star 1v1 tournament on the road.
Oh yeah, first up it's going to be Chody Walrus from Maryville University versus Platypus from Texas Tech University. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun day. Unlike tomorrow where it's just going to be fun for me, but tonight it's going to be fun for both of us, Rapid.
I was going to say, we get to, share in the joy and wonder here together before, you get to drag you and your broken bones home tomorrow. So today it's going to be a 1v1 tournament. There are only 7 players listed on the screen because we did have one unfortunate dropout, so that does mean that we are going to be giving Cat God a bye through because he was in first place after the ASUS All-Star Weekend fan voting came in. So here's the deal, here's what's going on. We're having a 1v1 tournament, so this is what's up. We had a poll, voted for the most popular CSL players this season. Here they are, and here we go into champion picks and bans for game number 1 of this epic series. So you can see them there and us here. We are good to go for game number 1. Now, game number 1 is between, like you mentioned, Fekez, Chody Walrus, the jungler for Maryville, and Platypus, who I'm going to be a little bit biased towards, maybe kind of just a little bit, because he is from Texas Tech University. I've been there before many times. And so, I did just get done casting Chody Walrus and Maryville in the NACS Open Qualifiers. So, I lots of love for both players, but, I gotta root for my homeboy.
Yeah, I mean, well, Chody Walrus is also on the God Squad tomorrow, so I'm going to be pulling for him. Platypus unfortunately could not make it into tomorrow's All Stars between versus Rapid and me. Best of luck whoever wins tonight. But tomorrow I am going to be pulling for Chody. And he is hovering over the Z right now. So this is blind pick, so neither of them can actually see who they're playing against, I believe. Right? That's how that works. Blind pick, of course.
This is blind pick. I guess you could do blind pick draft is another one.
There we go. I think that's what they're intending on doing, actually.
All right, so we are going to just go ahead and fix this up, so that we can't have bans. There are some pretty OP 1v1 champions out there.
Yeah, I mean,
so we're going to take care of that.
Yeah, Zed is definitely one of them. Heimerdinger is another. A lot of people have trouble against Heimerdinger 1v1. So yeah, we're just going to get that set up, and I believe we're already remaking the lobby. Shouldn't be too much longer until we get that going. Because, there is a way to have a blind pick and also have the ban phase come out. Because, like you said, a lot of OP 1v1ers. And this adds a little bit of strategy, a little bit of depth to the 1v1 matchup, so it's kind of what we're going for here.
All right, so it looks like what we are going to do is have the bans off screen for game number 1, and of course we will refine this process as we go through that. So we're just going to go back and forth. The players are going to ban, so that means that we get to you get to hear our dulcet tones instead of seeing it on screen. But
sometimes that's the best part of the cast.
Okay, well, as long as you're not the one doing it.
What?
Okay, so the first ban is Corky, and Cat God's going to be taking that one off the board. So, or not Cat God, Chody Walrus. I was looking at the word.
Same team.
Yeah, it's an easy mistake. Anyone could have made it. So first ban is Corky. Then Platypus is going to ban out Lee Sin, and that means pick ban. Yeah, ban number 2 is LeBlanc. Okay, so Corky, Lee Sin.
Ooh, and Olaf.
LeBlanc, Olaf. And now we're waiting for the third ban for both players, Chody Walrus. In all the 1v1 tournaments I've cast, Caitlyn is a big pick too, just because she has such range and farming ability. So speaking of good farmers, ban number 3 for Chody Walrus is Victor.
And there's Caitlyn, yeah.
Yeah, and there's the Caitlyn ban.
I would definitely suspect Caitlyn, especially now that you can start level 1 traps and just throw down 3 of them and get a headshot or zone off an entire area of a mid lane. I would definitely expected a Caitlyn ban, more so now than even before. When you were talking about it, she is very heavily favored in the 1v1 matchups. But there's our bans, and we're gonna get going here.
All right, so let's go ahead and drop it back into here. Now you guys can see this. They can't, but it does look like both players might have the same idea. I've already got Platypus, and they're both.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay, so this, keep in mind, this is blind pick, so neither one of these players can see each other's picks. They just so happen to have had kind of the same idea, but might be changing things up a little bit with, like runes and masteries and things like that.
Well, we're definitely changing it up with the summoner spells because Chody Walrus is taking the Flash Ignite while Platypus going the more, I guess, 1v1 oriented summoner spell setup as the Ignite and Exhaust. I'm going to give that one to Platypus. I don't see a big point, especially on a Zed, to a Flash in 1v1.
Yeah, so the big thing that we should note is, as far as the the 1v1 goes. So here are the basic rules. In case you guys are new to 1v1 tournaments, you have no idea what's going on. Let's go over these rules while we but before we get into the game. So 1v1 tournament, one player wins, one player loses. So it's blind pick. They each get 3 bans, and the way that you win is you either get first blood, you kill their turret, or you are the first player to reach 100 CS. Just in case they decide to take 1 CS per minute and never actually win the game, there is a cap at 10 minutes for each game. Now, honestly, in order to make 10 minutes, you'd have to have the slowest game ever. But just in case, that's out there. Looks like we are we're just loading into our first game, and it's gonna be actually really cool to see the Zed versus Zed.
Yeah, and
best Zed CSL.
Yeah, which actually, there are tournaments built around Best Zed in A's. In fact, I have a shirt from a long time ago that they, I guess it was about a year ago they did a Best Zed in A tournament. And I think Pobelter actually won that one. So let's see if Chody Walrus and Platypus, if they studied that one, because not much has changed for Zed since then. And yeah, he's still a huge 1v1 duelist. Very, very typical Zed. I'm surprised we didn't see a Heimerdinger also. I mean, Zed, obviously, he's a very high skill cap. Heimerdinger, that's a fun thing about him. You don't have to have skill to lay down turrets and just laugh at people while they try to dive you. But I think definitely
the downside there is that for Heimerdinger, his turrets count as CS.
Ooh,
so you're going to lose the CS game in the long run. So unfortunately, that is sometimes not the choice that players decide to go with. But we are about 40 seconds away from getting into this game. Desperately hope so the way things work is that because there's a 3-minute spectator delay, if the players do win the game before 3 minutes, they do have to stay in the game for at least 3 minutes so that we can go ahead spectate them. I think 3 minutes and 30 seconds is what we decided. So we're gonna get into the game here in just a second, and it'll be Chody Walrus versus TTU's Platypus. Coming up here pretty soon. Flash Ignite versus Ignite Exhaust, and I don't know, man. I'm pretty excited to see what this has in store. And yeah, keep in mind, there's a lot of synergy as far as champions go. The most recent played champion for Penguin was actually, or for Platypus rather, was Zed. So he's already got his practice in. He's going into this 1v1 pretty strong.
Yeah, he knew what he was.
He knew what he was. Complete silence.
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed the my fingers started to twitch. Yeah, he knew exactly what he was planning on doing. Knowing he was going to go into this 1v1 tournament, and it's all stars. It's all for fun, but you still want to win. So why not practice? Especially if you like playing mid lanes, anyways, which Platypus does like playing mid laners, and Zed. Pretty familiar in the mid lane, obviously, so why not practice them? And practice your solo queue, practice your 1v1 tournaments all at the same time. We'll see what happens when we get. I really think it's going to go over to Platypus only because of the summoner spells. And I hate to say that because Chody Walrus is going to be on my side tomorrow. I don't want him to turn his back on me. But hold on, Chody Walrus. He's landed his first Q, so I mean that's something here.
Unfortunately, it looks like it has kicked me out, so I'm actually going to load back in, which is maybe not as somewhat anticlimactic. But as soon as we are in the game, I promise you guys will be in the game too.
Well, if it helps you, they're only throwing Qs and none of them are landing. There's only one landed out of about 6 Qs that's been thrown up in between both of them. And they're just waiting for minions right now to get to the mid lane. But other than spamming laugh, they're throwing Qs, which is entertaining. But none of them are landing.
I was gonna say what's entertaining is like actually being able to load into the game. That's something that I would consider
Yeah.
quite encouraging. If at any point that happened to me, I would say a blessing to the Elo gods. Just certainly looking forward to load in as quickly as possible, and then you guys can actually see League of Legends games yourself. I know that's sort of the goal here.
Yeah.
After casting League of Legends games all day long, I would certainly hope that. Okay, so now we actually get to watch what on earth is happening here. The game should show up on your screen here in just a second, and we will have Chody Walrus versus Platypus here in the mid lane. And there we go. All right, so you guys can see them on your screens. And for once, I don't have to rearrange the champions. Like, do you know how like, what a catharsis this is? So here's the deal. Let's talk about how you can play this 1v1. So you can go like super aggressive and try to land like every Q on the champion, but like I don't know if they're just gonna go into like passive farm mode. They have the same items, and even though you may be like, why does Platypus get mana back on his biscuits? It's because it actually gives you health back too. So all sustain is good sustain. And Chody's getting hit by quite a few shurikens.
Yeah, it needs to be careful. Although Chody Walrus has been poking down Platypus, but yeah, he's starting to answer back now to hit level 2 and has the Living Shadow to get himself in position to throw out those shurikens as well. But it's just gonna force Chody Walrus to pop a health potion, and yeah, like you said, those biscuits also gonna help out too, because I think it's an instant 25 health that they give upon eating. So yeah, that is pretty huge considering the it comes down to the wire.
15 health and 15 mana. It's actually nerfed recently.
Oh,
so
yeah.
15 and 15,
Ooh.
and then of course you get the 15 seconds of 150 health back. So, oh man, this is so cool. And you don't have to. Oh, that Thunderlord's proc, pretty good.
Yeah, that was a very nice play by Chody Waller. Saw that Platypus had most of his offensive skills down, decided to go back into the Living Shadow. And even with exhaust on Platypus, Chody Walrus knew he wasn't going to throw it down yet. Could get some decent damage out and force a biscuit. And that's one of the big things about these 1v1 tournaments. Forcing pots or biscuits is so huge. Because if you can force your enemy to go back into the base, then he's going to miss out on quite a bit, take a huge amount of turret damage. But hold on, Platypus.
Oh, man, yeah, Platypus dropping pretty low. Now, there are some interesting differences for both players. They're both running Thunderlords with precision, but the big difference comes from the offensive tree. It's 12-18-0 are their masteries. For Chody Walrus, he actually went for the extra damage from natural talent. Of course, Feast in there as well. But for Platypus, he actually went for the 5 points in Vampirism for extra life steal and spell vamps. So that's actually kind of interesting. He's going for more sustain, a little bit less damage that they have in there. So same basic idea. As far as runes go, it's maximum armor penetration. Chody Walrus is running 12 magic resist in his runes. So I'm not too sure the value you're going to get out of that. To be fair, Platypus is running magic resistance in his runes too, and yeah, man, I don't know. That's interesting stat to build against Zed, but
Yeah, I know his passive. It actually is magic damage. I don't know if
that's the outplay.
Oh yeah, really reduce that that last hit passive. That it's probably still gonna go through anyways, considering it's I think you said it was magic resist per level, which means it's not even gonna hit its maximum stride. And it looks like Platypus is going to go back. He's out of health pot. So is Chody Walrus, but he's just going to shove this one up. So Platypus actually does have a CS lead right now, and it is the first to 100. So this is pretty big right now.
Yeah, so they're about a quarter of the way to 100. And keep in mind, there is that 10-minute CS advantage difference. So when it comes down to the wire, they're about halfway through their time, and they've only gotten a third of that CS. So, of course, things are going to pick up. We have Serrated Dirk, the first item to be bought by Platypus. That is very aggressive.
That is, but look at the items coming out from Chody Walrus. He's actually getting a lot more health and lifesteal coming out with those 2 Doran's Blades.
It's 160 health off of 2 Doran's Blades, and there's no more health off of Platypus. And for Platypus, he only gets 20 AD along with the armor pen. Like, the armor pen's what makes it, the Serrated Dirk so good. But he only gets 20 AD out of that, whereas, there's 8 attack damage on each Doran's Blade and the 10 from the longsword. So I'd say overall, Chody is probably in a better spot, especially with the extra lifesteal. But off the all-in, Platypus is going to have a lot of damage.
Oh, hold on. Chody Walrus is going in. He gets exhausted immediately, and now it's answered back by Platypus. Death marks onto both of them. Who's going to win? Platypus goes down very quickly. Chody
Oh
Walrus
my
picks
goodness.
up the first blood and the game number 1 in this 1v1 tournament.
So close, and yet so far. And that is it. The game is over. It did end with a result, but that is going to do it for our first 1v1. Congratulations to Chody Walrus from Maryville University. It's been a good day to be Chody Walrus. He will come out with victory in our first game. Now, this is a 1v1 single elimination tournament. It's not going to go on forever, but it is going to be cool to see who advances through to each individual round and this ASUS All-Star Weekend. And in case you guys are wondering, but Rapid, why is it called the ASUS All-Star Weekend? It's because our fabulous sponsors at ASUS Republic of Gamers have made it possible this season, not only just to have the season in itself, but also to have our CSL Grand Finals at DreamHack. CSL Playoffs. It's going to have the top 4 CSL teams at DreamHack competing on a live stage in front of all of you guys if you come out to CSL at DreamHack Austin for the entire grand prize. It's going to be awesome to see the teams. It's going to be awesome to see the players and everything else. But that is going to do it for our first game. That means we get to take a quick break, Reno, while we get into our second game. I'm so used to saying second best of 3, but it's not a best of 3, it's best of 1. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we will return with yet more of the ASUS All-Star Weekend Challenge.
It's been too long with too many wrongs. What have I done? You've forgotten the words to our song. Now it's gone. Take it back, just for one night. Take all the wrongs and pretend that we're alright. Feel the rhythm in our souls, let them entwine. 'Cause you know what you do to me. It's not fair, I don't care. Take you there, make you mine before we're out of time. Let's synchronize. Let's Don't be so distant. Don't be so distant. So distant, distant from me. You're so close, and yet so far. So I fight it, and here we are in each other's arms. Take it back, just for one night. Take all the wrongs and pretend that we're alright. Feel the rhythm in our souls, let them entwine. 'Cause you know what you step with me. Let our bodies sing in harmony till the morning light together. Silent in the dark, waiting for the spark.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with round 2, the ASUS All-Star Weekend 1v1 League of Legends Challenge. My name is Reed Rapid Melton. Joining me once again is Joshua Vekes Quest, and of course all of you wonderful people. So let's get down to it. Game number 2. It's going to be a 1v1 between In Ganks We Trust from Concordia, and he will be playing against TTU's Penguins. So once again, we have another Texas Tech representative. Hashtag big fan there. So excited to see more Texas Tech players here. But of course, Concordia being represented as well by In Ganks We Trust.
Yeah, Penguin going to try to avenge his fallen brethren. Platypus did not make it through the first round on that one. And we already have bans underway here. A lot of focus, actually 100% focus on ADCs. Graves, Ezreal, Kate, Varus, Quinn, and Corki are all banned away from this game.
All right, so yeah, we do have the bans through there. Lots of 80 carry bans, in case you guys couldn't tell.
Yeah,
in
right,
fact,
yeah.
Every single one of them is an 80 carry, at least at some point. So looks like we are going to go. I'm not going to reveal the picks, and we're not going to spoil the picks until they're both locked in, so that so yeah, we should be good to go as far as that goes. We'll be getting into this game. All right, so we're in blind pick. They're both connecting to the lobby. They're both thinking about champions to choose. Lots of 80 carry bans, like we mentioned earlier. And both of these players are Diamond. I believe In Ganks We Trust is Diamond 5 and Penguin is Diamond 1. So maybe a little bit of an elo discrepancy, but both Diamond and both, of course, very strong players for their teams. In Ganks We Trust, hovering over a champion, but Penguin has not selected his just yet.
Who would you pick, Rapid? I don't know. I haven't been in a 1v1 in a long time. Of course, In Ganks We Trust just locked in his champion. What would you pick?
I guess there's several different strategies. So there's 3 different win conditions, right? There's turret, kill, or CS. So I think the most reliable way is to go for a CSing champion, to play something like Caitlyn, which was unfortunately banned. I've seen Caitlyn win so many 1v1 tournaments. In fact, I believe it was Messiah at the 1v1 tournament at International All-Stars a few years ago who won a game with like Smite Caitlyn. Just because every single CS matters, and Smite would help you get even more. So otherwise you can just go for kills. So that's why like champions like Jarvan, Annie, really good at those like poke and all in. So that's kind of what you need if you want to go for that. And if you want to kill turrets, well, after the mid-season mage update, Ziggs can execute turrets with 25% HP left. So you just pick Ziggs every single 1v1 tournament. So
yeah, what is that about?
I don't know, man. It's pretty crazy. But both players have actually locked in their champions, so I can actually go ahead and reveal this on stream. You guys are going to see that in Ganks We Trust has in fact chosen Orianna with Exhaust Flash, and Penguin has chosen Irelia with Exhaust Ignite. So we talked about those 2 win conditions, or 2 of the win conditions. In Ganks We Trust probably looking to farm things out, but Penguin is wanting to be aggressive.
Yeah, and I still like that, despite not winning last game with the Zed face-off. I still like the 2 aggressive, especially when you have a gap closer. I like the 2 aggressive summoner skills, and of course, Exhaust actually can be aggressive or defensive, however you want to use it. But in this case, especially in Ganks We Trust, it's almost purely a defensive summoner spell. I don't think you're going to go in for an outright 1v1 kill onto Irelia. Instead, I think Ganks We Trust may just want to try to farm this one out to 100, maybe even take the turret faster than Penguin can.
All right, now there's also some hold on. There's also some rune and mastery different changes and things to talk about here. So for Penguin, he is actually going to go for a 18-12 build. So what that means is that he's taking everything on the left-hand side of the mastery tree, with the exception of trading out double-edged sword for feast for extra sustain in lane. So that all makes sense. He's bringing fervor of battle as well. And then, of course, he's bringing the Assassin Mastery, definitely a good thing for 1v1s in Cunning, and then, of course, Merciless and Dangerous Game, along with all of that. So, Masteries make a lot of point for runes. He's going with attack damage, attack speed, magic resistance, and 9 points in armor. So, I guess fairly standard. But the runes for In Ganks We Trust Orianna is actually kind of interesting. He's running ability power, armor, attack speed, armor and then hybrid penetration. Reds, which is kind of interesting. I like the attack speed so that you can attack minions more quickly, you can push the wave, you can CS better. And then, of course, for Orianna runes, she's actually running 12-0-18 with Grasp of the Undying on a ranged champion. So even though it's 25%, or it's half as effective,
right,
and deals magic damage, it's still good for ranged champions just to get that sustain in there. And then, of course, everything you'd expect. The runic armor, which increases shields by 8%, is actually really helpful as well for Orianna because of Command Protect.
That's actually, it's going to be pretty big whenever if Penguin can get into position to dive. Obviously, when you're against an Irelia, you don't want to 1v1 her. So any time that the Orianna can just be safe and farm, going to be advantageous. But at the moment that In Ganks We Trust does get dove, yeah, the runic armor is going to help a huge amount. And I don't actually know how the mechanic works for the stun proc on Irelia. I don't know if it takes into account shields, whether or not the Equilibrium Strike stuns or slows.
Well, we're about to find out.
Yeah.
We can watch with our very own eyes. We get into game number 2.
Those items.
And yeah, some interesting items here. A Doran's Blade Orianna. This is kind of like if you see Doran's Blades picked up first on champions like Kennen top lane. It's an AP champion, but because it's ranged in a predominantly melee matchup, you go for Doran's Blade early to establish your dominance.
And that's pretty much what 1v1 tournaments are all about, is establishing dominance. Yeah. And I kind of like the Doran's pickup. And it's not going to hinder In Gangs We Trust from farming too much, but yeah, it's going to give him a little bit more health, which I think the Doran's Ring is going to anyways. But yeah, the life steal, I think that's actually going to help and combine with the shield. And he actually started shield first, not using the command attack, or is it command attack or command move? It's
Yeah,
been a
it
while.
says command, dissonance, attack, protect, shockwave.
Right. Yeah, so gonna go with that defensive stance immediately, and yeah, that's pretty much gives away a strategy for In Gangs We Trust for sure.
Yeah.
Farm, farm, farm.
Well, yeah, and more than that, just you can't ever kill Orianna. And I feel like you almost have to play ranged champions in 1v1s, because if you play melee, it's too difficult to take turrets, and it's too difficult to kill your lane opponent because mid lane is the shortest lane, so you're always going to be very close to that turret. So you really have to make a miscalculation in order to die in the middle of there's a ranged champion. So as long as you know the kill percentages and when people have different kill thresholds on you, you should be able to have a pretty significant advantage as a ranged champion. And one of the reasons Orianna is the ranged champion of choice here is that when you do things like that, you have ranged ability to heal yourself and steal that from your opponent, as well as stacking up that clockwork windup really helps Orianna's auto attacks be pretty good for CSing.
Yeah, and also has a feast, I believe. I'm pretty sure I saw that. I think you mentioned that also earlier on. But yeah, Grasp the Undying. So yeah, Gangs We Trust. I really like this strategy. It reminds me of an old Yu-Gi-Oh deck where you don't go for outright burst, like taking down people's life points. You just you whittle them down like 300 at a time. It's like a kind of like a lock. Actually, I used to call it clown control deck because I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan. Let's face it. It's called Clown Control Deck, where you just kind of keep minions off the board and slowly whittle enemies' life points down to about like 300 to 500 at a time. And at 8,000 points, it takes a while, but it works and it frustrates the hell out of your opponent. And I think that's what In Gangs We Trust is going to try out here.
But Fekaz, they only had 4,000 life points
Shut
in
up.
the TV show.
Oh my god. The TV show infuriated me with that.
It's like, literally, what are your rules? Does this even matter? I can just make something up, say the word friendship with it, and I win, right? That's how it works. So
but
right, well,
yeah, it does have a strategy here, but big wave coming out from Penguin, and actually, I really can last it under the turret pretty easily with the heightened style.
So what Penguin is trying to do here is he's trying to freeze the wave at his turret and then use that Blade Surge reset mechanic to Blade Surge to a minion and then get another, and then get right on top of In Gangs We Trust. However, this range versus melee matchup is just not going to work out. And I really don't like going for long swords to build into bigger items, because 1v1s is not about building big items. It's about just, you should probably just have nothing but Doran's blades.
Penguin's able to answer back with quite a bit of damage, but, my god, hold on, there's a flash. Two exhaust does go down.
Oh, the turnaround stun!
It is not in turret range, though, and In Gangs We Trust still gets the first blood with his Orianna. Congratulations to In Gangs We Trust. He is going to advance into, I think it's a semifinal rounds, because it's only a 7-man tournament.
It is, and that is going to do it for game number 1. Apologies for the brief overlay upset, but yeah, that is going to do it for our second game, where we are in fact going to see In Gangs We Trust come out ahead with a very defensive strategy, very passive strategy, but a winning strategy nonetheless. So congratulations to him. Concordia probably going to be pretty happy about that.
He's an all-star. In Gangs We Trust. It's pulling it out with the Orianna.
So this is an all-star weekend, and we have all-star players. Does that mean that we're all-stars too, Fekaz?
Oh, you're not. I am, though. And
no, okay, yeah. Tomorrow's where we get to find out which one of us is the all-star.
Actually, we're actually gonna get a preview of that, because Cat God is actually taking on Chody Walrus. I got Chody Walrus. You got Cat God tomorrow. But I'm pretty sure Chody Walrus is just gonna run all over Cat God tonight. Let's face it.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they both have had a good day of League of Legends, winning their NACS Open qualifier match for Maryville. So pretty big fan of that, and I'm certainly looking forward to watching both of them here. Super excited to see what else is in store for the ASUS All-Star Weekend. We're going to take a quick break before we get into game number 3 of the weekend. We'll have more information on that for you guys when we get back. So in the meantime, hit that follow button right down below the screen. Big thanks to ASUS, Republic of Gamers, for amping up our season and making our grand finals at DreamHack incredible. We look forward to seeing you guys back here in just a few minutes when we get back from our quick break with more ASUS All-Star Weekend 1v1 action. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting right into it with our bans and our picks and all kinds of other crazy stuff out there. So bans for this game between Saskio, who, in case you guys have not been following the wonderful Maryville University, that's where you can expect to see him. Saskio from Maryville, he's their top laner, and he has banned out Quinn, Corki, and Renekton. Interesting to see the Renekton ban. Whereas Pesos from Drexel, so all you Drexel Dragons and Drexel Dragoons out there, you guys want to cheer for Pesos. He has banned out Caitlyn, Ezreal, and Heimerdinger. So let's go ahead and get into champion picks and bans where we can tell you nothing. Because we don't want to give away either one of these picks, but we will show them to you as soon as they get locked in.
I can say that Saskio is a huge Darius main. I don't know if that's going to have merit on this one. It probably won't. But I do like what both of these have locked in because I like this matchup, and I don't get to see it often enough. They are locked in. Does that mean we get to talk about them now?
As soon as the game actually starts, and we're good. All right, so let's go ahead and show you guys which champions have been picked. You can see them right there on your screen. Whoa, I'm not sure exactly why there's so much... so many dots on the screen, but let's go ahead and take those off. You can see them right here. It's going to be Urgot for Pesos from Drexel, and for Saskio, he's going to be going with a Zed.
Urgot is one of the best matchups against a Zed. As if a Zed tries to deathmark you, you can actually kinetic hyper position reverser him, get magic and armor resist against Zed. That's one thing, but also delay a lot of Zed's damage because he doesn't have as much time to put on damage from that death mark. And not to mention, if you can just land, I think it's his W, you can throw out Acid Hunters, and it doesn't matter where he Living Shadows to. You can Living Shadow out of range, but that also means he misses experience, and that Zed will miss gold as well. I really like Urgot into Zed. I think it's an extraordinarily fun matchup.
Yeah, super fun. And the cool thing about this matchup is that for Urgot, you can actually start with like a refillable potion and like cloth armor. You can go for that. You probably don't want that because refillable potion is less effective than just buying regular potions. So we're probably still going to see maybe like long sword potion builds because that lets you take as much sustain to lane. And then off the first recall, we could see something like, just more Doran's blades. And honestly, I don't know why. So you want to start with Longsword 3 potions because it gives you more sustain in lane. But then you want to go to Doran's Blades after that because it's just the most effective use of your money. So we already saw that at least in the last game. Buying Doran's Blades, it's a good item to buy here. And I don't expect to see any changes here. Glad to see that we both have Flash Ignite. Exhaust is really weird in 1v1s, and I don't think it works very well in 1v1s because it's percentage damage reduction. So hey, if it saves your life and you win. But it's primarily used to really counter, like a lot of like late game and champions who are going to be dealing persistent damage in these fights. So I don't know. It's a good summer spell. Don't get me wrong, but we're gonna see some sick flash out plays here with Flash Ignite.
And, I'm on the other side of that fence. I actually like Exhaust, but, me saying that, anyone who's taken Exhaust is not one, so shows what I know as far as that's concerned. But I do like the Ignite no matter what, especially in these 1v1s. You could get Teleport and go to base early, get an extra item spike, and then teleport back, but I feel like it's not as advantageous, considering it takes a little while to get to that 100 CS, and if you could just taking a more offensive summoner spell, you could outright kill your opponent and get the first blood anyway. So I do like the Ignite being taken over the teleport, which some people speculate in a 1v1. It has its place in a 1v1, but I don't really I don't really like it when you can just kill your opponent. You might as well just do that, especially
Yeah.
two offensive guys like these two, Urgot and Zed.
Yep, it is in fact a 1v1 tournament, so you don't have to worry about any ganks. You don't have to worry about like roaming for objectives. You don't have to worry about buffs or anything crazy like that. Although there are some 1v1 champions that can just take a buff level 1 recall and then walk to lane. It's a pretty cheesy strat, but we've already seen some cheesiness here today. So I hope you guys are ready for our third 1v1 between Pesos from Drexel and Saskio. So let's go ahead, and I think we should be able to get this started here in just a second.
Yeah, and you were talking about cheesy plays. 1v1, that's pretty much all 1v1 is just a whole plethora of cheesy plays. I mean, you'd have Orianna taking a Doran's blade for crying out loud to empower her auto attacks against an Irelia. 1v1 is nothing but cheese. We're going to see what Pesos starts out with here. As we do see the Doran's. Yeah, okay, so it's going to be mirrored matchup. Not Doran's blade, but the longsword rather, and 3 health pots for both sides. Not going to go for any sort of defensive stats on the Urgot, which I don't blame him. He does have that shield. It does help out quite a bit, especially with a poke from a Zed. So I think level 6 is going to be interesting here, Rapid. I'm really anxious to see the fun anti-synergy of a Zed and Urgot ulting into each other.
Yeah, Urgot is traditionally a counter carry, so you pick him not because he can carry, but because he can counter the carries and still do a lot of damage that way. Urgot is mana gated though, so he will have an extra resource to manage in this in a 1v1 matchup where sustain is very important. Zed kind of energy gated, but that's not really a big limiting factor super early on into the game. You can see he can spam shurikens forever and never run out of energy. Oh,
Yeah.
first
Oh
blood.
well, there you go. And now, yeah, Pesos, he's gonna go back, call it a day. He's like, all right, bro, you win.
Like, what a wimp. You took like one little tiny bit of damage. Like, oh no, I'm so hurt. I need to go back to base. Except he actually can't go back to base now. So he will need to stay in lane and make sure not to take any additional harassment. One cool thing about Urgot is because besides making all shoutcasters everywhere tear their hair out because of his ability names, he actually has a couple of 1v1 centric abilities, namely his passive Zaun Touched Bolt Augmenter. Makes his anytime he hits someone with an attack or an acid hunter, he gets 15% damage reduction. Like, that is just straight up busted. You have an ability that 15% damage reduction whenever you hit them, and sure, it falls off over time, but you're continuing to hit them, so you always have it up when you're in combat. Pretty insane for 1v1s. Plus, he has an auto attack reset in his acid hunter. They're spammable. You can CS very, very well with him, but you do have to watch out for early game because Urgot can be a little bit rough there.
Yeah, well, you're talking about mana gated. We already see he's over halfway out of mana just trying to get these acid hunters out. He just now hit level 2, so hasn't even been able to throw out his corrosive charge to get those acid hunters to become seekers. He needs to be careful with that. But yeah, the auto attack, the passive from him, yeah, really strong. And that's another big thing whenever a Zed wants to ult in onto him. He can reduce like 15%. It's a very miniature exhaust. It's like one of the best features of exhaust, in my opinion.
Okay, another, oh man, nice Thunderlord's proc there. Saskio goes in there. You can see a Thunderlord's right back in his face. Losing CS there. But so one of the things that should help with Urgot's mana-gated issues is that in the most recent Urgot rework, or I think the one right before this one, they actually changed so if you last hit a unit with an Acid Hunter, half its mana cost is refunded. It works out to about 20 mana, but hey, 20 mana is 20 mana. So you should probably just be using Acid Hunters to last hit with. But we don't see Pesos doing that at all. He is completely out of mana. He can fire one Acid Hunter. That's about it.
Yeah, and he actually just threw out his corrosive charge and did not even throw out an Acid Hunter onto Saskio because he was so afraid of the mana cost. And one big thing about the corrosive charge is it also reduces armor, which is really good whenever you're throwing out those Acid Hunters, and that's going to hurt Saskio even more. But again, he's just so dependent on mana. He may need to go back. And the bad thing is that in these 1v1 tournaments, you're not going to build a tier of the goddess. So if you don't, I guess, manage your mana properly, in these 1v1 tournaments as an Urgot, you're going to suffer quite a bit because if you get the power and you don't have the mana to use it, then you're probably going to fail.
You gotta take a Doran's ring, man. Every time you kill a minion, you get that mana right back.
Yeah, well, you know, hold on. A mana, 20 mana along with the 4 mana from the Doran's ring, if you kill him with the Acid Hunter, that's not such a bad deal.
It's a super bad deal. You have
It's a
no
horrible
AP
action.
scaling.
Noxa, I actually think his shield, it does mana, go off of mana. It's actually a 1-to-1 ratio, I believe.
Oh man, Pesos
Hey,
getting some really good trades
defense.
there.
You saw how much defense helped against with the Orianna in the last game. Just want to throw that one out there. As long as he can get level 6 and get his hyperkinetic position reverser, I think he's going to be all right. But yeah, ideally, you don't want to go mana on or AP on Urgot. That's an asinine thing to say. But it is a possibility in 1v1s because 1v1s you just want to throw out some of the weirdest things.
To be fair, actually, one build that did see at least a little bit of popularity was Doran's Ring Gangplank, because his parlay does the same thing. It refunds half mana cost when you kill a minion with it. So it basically ensures that you can do permanent Qs, and you do get extra healing off of that and extra mana regeneration. So it's actually a pretty decent first item on Gangplank top lane, even though it doesn't really make sense and it's certainly not standard by any means. So just throwing that out there in case you guys want to try that out. Although Gangplank with its most recent nerfs, not quite as common to pick.
Yeah, we were talking about mana sustain. So actually, Pesos is not. He's gonna go back with not even full mana. He didn't want to wait for that. He needs to get to the lane, get some experience, and then farm because he's getting out farmed quite a bit by Saskio right now. Going back with 2 Doran's Blades, and it looks like Saskio coming back with 2 Doran's Blades as well, but also boots.
Yeah, I'm not sure about those boots. Sure, it's going to help close the distance as a melee champion versus a ranged champion, but I mean, Zed's got tons of mobility to do that anyway. And if that were like a cloth armor or maybe even, an extra Doran or extra longsword, I feel like that would have been a lot better than boots. Boots are sort of like the comeback mechanic. If you come back to lane and your opposing laner has bought boots or mana, those are non-combat stats. So you can sort of win your way back into a lane by foregoing boots and then coming back and using that extra cost effectiveness. Either way, it is going to make Zed a lot faster. Doesn't matter when you're suppressed or feared, as that new CC was added onto Urgot. But I'm actually really interested. See, here come the Acid Hunters. You can see Zed immediately forced to back away.
And that is one benefit of the boots, is you can get away from the range of those Acid Hunters a little bit faster. Of course, you also have Living Shadow to do that. But yeah, the boots, he wants to do that with the just pure speed. But yeah, you were talking about getting back to lane, and when you're winning a CS, getting back to lane faster is actually really good because that means you can just keep your lane advantage, or your CS advantage, I should say, and try to push it. But it actually looks like Pesos, he's not doing too bad. He's still 13 CS down right now, but he is making Saskio. He is zoning him off and managing his mana a lot better this time around. So it is coming in handy. Now I just saw a crit, so that means he is running a crit rune. And if you can land that on Saskio, that would actually make him think twice about going in. But speaking of going in, Pesos, he's gonna have to pop up some health pots here because Saskio, he's full health. He could actually possibly dive this one, but he is afraid of the hyperkinetic position reverser, as that will thwart any sort of death mark from a Zed.
Oh man, well, for at least for now, you can see Pesos just kind of farming it up. He's down a level, which is a really big deal. So definitely you can see him auto-attacking this creep wave. Needs to start pushing, needs to get that experience to hit that level 7. Level advantages are so big a deal in 1v1, so definitely got to get that. So he is level 7. Here come the Acid Hunters. He's actually going to use the extra mana from a Terra Capacitor as well. Get all those slows, but he's tanking the creep wave, so that's a lot of damage. And I don't know, he's out of health potions too.
Yeah, needs to be careful. He did not. I don't think he took Feast either on this one, so he's going to have a hard time regenerating anything back up. Obviously went, at least went 18 into the, to get the Thunderlords, as we've been seeing that proc as well. But yeah, it's Saskio. He's just playing this one slow. He now is out of mana pots, not mana pots, health pots, I should say.
Oh wow, look at that damage with Thunderlords, just landing
that changes everything.
Really well aimed. Skill shots are just what they sound like, skills. So if you have the skills to land them, you can really bring yourself back in a matchup where you start to get a little bit behind. Just look at what that did to the health bars. Now Pesos in the lead. He can actually afford to walk forward. Saskio, whoa, he is not in a good spot.
Even with Pesos a little low on mana now, which actually is quite low on mana, if Saskia wanted to dive, he might not be able to do much against it because... Hold on. There's a flash, and there's a death mark coming out. But
he goes back in!
Going back in! Can he get the kill? He does with the big burst from the death mark. And yeah, Pesos, he did not have enough mana for that hyperkinetic position reverse. A very nice play by Saskia.
I don't know what to say there. That is absolutely ridiculous. So close, and yet so far. And so far, we have had very close games. Saskia there winning by just one auto attack, one Prey Seeker, one Acid Hunter. Wait, yeah, it is Acid Hunter. It's not a Rek'Sai. One Acid Hunter. It's been ridiculous how close these games are, and I'm just actually really pumped that the ASUS All-Star Weekend has been going so well. That's going to do it for our third 1v1 of the day. But much like ASUS, we just keep getting better the longer we go. So hopefully you guys are going to stick around because we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will have our fourth best of one 1v1 as the ASUS All-Star Weekend continues. Once again, of course, brought to you by our ASUS Republic of Gamers partners. We're making it possible to have the CSL Grand Finals at DreamHack Austin. So come down there, let us know that you watch CSL. Say hi. Fekez will give his very first autograph if you want to find him down there. But in the end, no, I'm totally serious. You should come say hi, come check us out, and we'll see you back after a short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. We'll be right back with the ASUS All-Star Weekend. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Reed Rapid Meldon, and Queen of My Heart joining me, Joshua Fekez Quest, as we get into game number 4 of our ASUS All-Star Weekend 1v1 League of Legends tournament. Hope you guys are having a good day. We are having a good day of 1v1s. We're about to get into our fourth one. We're into round 2, so we're going to start to see some repeat performances. This one is going to be between the Maryville players, Chody Walrus and Cack God. So hopefully going to see some good games. We are done with the bans. We've got Cack God taking out Amumu from our 1v1 pool. Amumu, Thresh, and Malzahar versus Chody Walrus's LeBlanc, Zed, and Rise. So it does leave up some power picks. We're not going to give anything away. We're just going to go ahead and hop into Champion Select for game number 4, 1v1 between Chody Walrus and Cat God.
Yeah, they are both from Maryville. They both know each other almost inside and out. Chody Walrus helps win Cat God's mid lane quite often, which is he's not going to be there tomorrow, which is why Rapid is going to fail in trying to beat me because I have Chody Walrus on my side, so I am pulling for him. His champion is locked in. We're going to see what Cat God goes against him. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
Yeah, we do have one champion locked in. We're about to change it to the second. No! Oh my god. No, it's locked in. It's locked in. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. 4 seconds we'll be able to show you guys what's on the screen, but I don't know, man. It's a little bit iffy.
This just makes me feel so good about tomorrow. But I don't think we'll be seeing this mid lane at all. But
what is happening in my game?
The decision making is there on my side. I just know it.
All right. Well, we're gonna see Gragas versus Warwick. And yes, the new Warwick splash art is actually the sickest thing ever. Let me give you guys a little bit. Like, is that not incredible? Like, oh my gosh, just oh my gosh, so good. So yeah, sick splash art. Terrible champion though. As far as 1v1s go, like you think to yourself, hey guys, I need to sustain in lanes. So if I play Warwick, I could, and then you just die because you walked up and autoed the creep wave to a Gragas, whose body bump is probably it's one of the best skills in the game. It beats every trade. Like, you pick any move and body slam beats it. Like, there's, I don't know, man. It's pretty ridiculous. So you can even, like, as soon as you see there's a small wind-up animation on Warwick ult, you can buffer your body slam right between that and the first auto attack damage hitting you, and it'll just cancel Warwick ult. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. Cat God better not let me down, because I totally have him on my fantasy team for tomorrow. The struggle.
That's all it is, Rapid. It's just a fantasy. That's all it's ever going to be. Chody Walrus is going to destroy Cat God today, tomorrow. I'm not going to say forever, because eventually they need to get on the same page. But as far as I'm concerned, this weekend, it's going to be Chody Walrus. He's got Gragas against a Warwick. I mean, come on. Come on.
I don't know, man. Level 6 is going to be really interesting. If Cat God can push for an early level 6, then he can definitely ult Ignite all in pretty well, especially if Chody Walrus does not respect that, doesn't get his happy hour passive off, doesn't get his drunken rage off for the percent damage reduction. But man, after that, I don't know. Especially since Ignite is a summoner spell that reduces healing. So right when Cat God needs to heal the most, he's going to get ignited and won't be able to heal up at all. So I don't know, man. It's kind of questionable. I want to see if this is like a Doran's Ring start Warwick, where you're just going for as much AP damage as possible. Not
that used to be really popular in top lane for like a split second, where he would just sustain and sustain and sustain as a Warwick in top lane.
And where's our Nunus? Where's our Caitlyn's? Both of those champions have been left up. They're some of the best 1v1 champions out there. I'll never forget Soaz beating Wicked in the All-Star. They 1v1'd each other in a best of 5. Winner would go to All-Stars, and yeah, it was insane. They had like 150,000 viewers all watching them play 1v1s versus each other.
Yeah.
It was the most intense matchups I have ever seen. And here we have very similarly intense matchups, but this is Warwick versus Gragas, so
The Razor tournament sponsored by Team Liquid, or hosted by Team Liquid, I should say. It was a 1v1 tournament like sometime last year, like late summer last year. It came down to a 1v1 Nunu, which was by far the most boring thing I've ever seen, but it was interesting how people took their different paths. This is going to be a little bit more interesting because it's a Warwick in the mid lane, and yeah, I would actually, trash talking slightly aside, I want to see what Warwick, what Cat God plays here, but he's actually going to start the Corrupting Potion, not going the AP route, but he does have 15 AP, so he has AP runes on his side right now.
all right, so let's go ahead and go over some runes and masteries here. If I'm not mistaken, I think I am mistaken. Oops. Okay, so here's what we're looking at for runes and masteries. For Chody Walrus, he's running Magic Penetration, Ability Power, and Health per level. It's a pretty standard Ability Power page. Cat God with a BM.
Oh, mind you, like, okay, so we're in the chat right now, in the Twitch chat. These two are in the exact same room, just trash talking each other.
Yeah, it's actually pretty insane. We got to get Clerky with some video footage of this, and of course, to finish things out for masteries, Chody Walrus is running 12-18-0 with extra cooldown reduction from intelligence, and of course, Thunderlord's Decree. And of course, all the standard things from Ferocity. The runes from Cat God, and this is where things get interesting. He's running Magic Penetration, cooldown per level, health per level, and ability power. Now, per level runes are only effective, I believe, past level like 8, is it? So he's really going to be having worse runes early on for quite a while. So I'm not really sure about the per level ability, but this is an AP page.
Yeah.
So he is going to be APing his heart out here. So he actually does hurt a lot early on. So does have to be careful here.
This is the interesting part. So Cat God is a mid laner. He 1v1s all the time. with not including the attempt from the junglers to gank in the mid lane. Now, at the same time, so he's comfortable. Same time, Chody Walrus, he's a jungler. He's familiar with Warwick. I mean, Warwick hasn't been in the meta for a while, but he knows Warwick. He knows what he's capable of. Now, with that being said, again, it's an AP Warwick. So how really capable do you know? But Chody Walrus, he might not even care because he might just body slam Cat God into the oblivion here, into the gray screen.
So Cat God brought Fervor of Battle. It's pretty common to bring that on Warwick, just because it stacks up off of his ultimate.
Right.
But he actually put all of his penetrative stats for masteries in Battering Blows. That's the armor penetration, instead of magic penetration, which is almost the entire amount of damage that Warwick does do. So probably would have been better off putting magic penetration there. Either way, it's a super tiny deal. He is out of Corrupting Potion stacks though, so he's been able to sustain through a lot of stuff here, but he just keeps walking into all of Chody Walrus's damage. He's pretty low health, and you can see that body slam. You can't beat it. It just you can't. Like, there's nothing that stops it. You get body slam. The only way to stop it is to put a minion in between you and him, and so Cat God should be looking to do that, but he's not doing such a great job of it so far. And plus, like, Warwick, it's Warwick, so I don't know, man.
It's not scripted. It's just how the players I choose. They just have really good here. Cat God, though, to his credit, he's farming, or he's spell vamping everything back up, sustaining himself. He's out of mana and almost out of health because he gets bopped in the head with a big Christmas bag full of.
Yeah, Chody Wallace has crazy kill potential right now. Oh, and the flash, the counterplay. He's gonna go on forward. Oh, he needs one more auto attack and he gets first blood. Oh my god.
Yeah, boy.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure if Cat God had just walked away, he would have won from the ignite ticking down.
A summoner has disconnected.
What? What on earth? I'm so confused right now. And in fact, thanks to our powers of technology and the ability to control space and time, we can actually rewind it to see the final moments of this 1v1. Actually, never mind. No, we can't. I take it back. Our powers are not that great. Once this actually ended, we can't actually rewind it past then.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, 'cause it kicks us out.
Oh my gosh. Cat God, let me down, man. Let me down. So close.
Congratulations, Chody Walrus.
To be fair, though, he was close to winning a 1v1 as a Warwick. So, I mean, in some extent, that's an achievement in and of itself. So,
yeah,
Oh
that's.
my God.
I don't think we're gonna be seeing those two mid lane, Warwick mid lane tomorrow, anyways. So, credit to Cat God, he knows what he's doing as far as what tomorrow will bring. So, you still got that on your side, Rapid. Don't worry, you can't win them all.
gosh.
I can't know. So
We'll see about that. That's gonna do it for our fourth 1v1. Congratulations to Chody Walrus, as much as that hurts to say, because he is on Fekez's all-star team tomorrow. Either way, he wins. Cat God loses, but at least he got all this losing out of the way. So that means that tomorrow, that's when the winning starts.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll have more ASUS All-Star Weekend 1v1s, of course, brought to you by our sponsors here at CSL, ASUS Republic of Gamers. They're going to be hooking us up at DreamHack. Hope to see you guys there for some more awesome ASUS action. So stick around. We'll be right back with another All-Star 1v1.
Let's run away, run away. Let's run away, run away. Let's run away, run away. Let's go into the wild. Let's go into the wild. Let's get lost tonight. Let's go into the wild. Let's get lost tonight, lost tonight. Let's get lost tonight. Let's go into the wild. Let's get lost tonight, lost tonight. Do you wanna go, 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 go? Let's get lost tonight. Let's go somewhere. Let's get wild tonight. Let's run away from here. Let's run away, run away. 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 Let's go into the wild. Let's go into the wild.
All right, we have a brief announcement. We were actually, thankfully, thanks to Maryville University Esports, able to conduct a post-game interview with Chody Walrus. We'd like to share that with you guys right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead, throw this up here, and hopefully you guys enjoy.
So how do you feel about defeating Kek on the 1v1?
Shit's free though, bro. What's up, big dog? What's up, big dog? Hey, big dog to the house.
And I think we are all better people for having witnessed that. So stick around. We'll be right back with another 1v1.
Let's go into the wild.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ASUS All-Star Weekend. Here at the Collegiate Star League, we've gathered together 8, well, it's actually 7, of the best collegiate or most popular collegiate players together to play 1v1s for your entertainment. That's exactly what we're going to hop into. We've already been through champion picks and bans. We've already been through the ban phase. Why don't you let us know what what both players banned here as we get into In Ganks We Trust versus Saskio.
Actually, I know Corky was one of them, Zed as well, Oriana. I did not get the order in which they were banned, because they actually like banned him, then immediately started. So we don't have a picture of that one up right now. But one thing that was not banned though, that was a Caitlyn, and I'm interested to see if either of these players pick Caitlyn. Haven't seen her all tournament because it's Caitlyn, traditional 1v1 champion.
We got Caitlyn, we got Nunu, we got Jace, another really popular 1v1.
Yeah, Jace. Yeah, haven't seen Jace. He was hovered over once, but
Orianna, Misfortune.
actually, Orianna was banned. And,
that is true. That is true. Yeah.
Saskio took that one away. Also, Irelia was banned as well, and I think Zed was banned too.
After Saskio's performance earlier, like you kind of got to take that away.
And that's kind of what Saskio was thinking against Gangs We Trust. I'm going to take the Orianna away because clearly he had something up there that I don't really know about. You don't really start Doran's Blade on an Orianna too often, but in Gangs We Trust made it work out quite well against the Irelia early on. So this time around, like I said, some power picks up. I don't know if Malzahar made it through. He's also a decent 1v1, especially anyone who silences, I feel like, is all right on the 1v1 scale. At least to a point. And of course, you have no one to break your Nether Grasp if you're a Malzahar either. But like I said, Caitlyn's up. We'll see if they pick him.
You could never break my Nether Grasp, Fekkas.
Well, do I make a Space Age joke here? I don't even know if he's going to be gone anyways pretty soon, but it'd also be kind of weird between us.
As opposed to the way it is normally. You know?
Right, okay, well.
All right, so let's talk about what we got going on here in Gangs We Trust versus Saskio. Saskio, he's going the non-interactive Caitlyn build. He walks up, smites the creep, walks away. He takes all of his health bar and damage, teleports back to lane, he's all good. In Gangs We Trust is running Barrier here. I feel like possibly this is a matchup where Exhaust would be pretty good, but when you leave up 80 carries like this is going to be pretty fun. Very different playstyle. Saskio will be at a competitive disadvantage in the combat, but he's going to be at a great advantage when it comes to farming up 100 CS.
Yeah, and you're an ADC. That's kind of what you're going for. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, especially with this newer Caitlyn compared to last time I've casted a 1v1 tournament, you can start traps and you can instantly lay down 3 traps and zone off a portion of the mid lane, which can be pretty advantageous. And if you do somehow get the enemy into walking onto one of those traps, or if they just want to get rid of them, you're going to take a whole hell of a lot of damage. So I actually really like. Obviously, Caitlyn has always been good at 1v1s, but with the new trap system, I think is that she's actually better. She doesn't get traps as often, but she starts out with 3 of them instantly when you level up the Yordle snap traps, and they're a lot bigger whenever they get stepped on now. So you be watching out for that.
Yeah, you definitely have to watch out for Caitlyn traps. That's what's going to be so nuts about this. You're just going to see these lines of scrimmage of like 5 Caitlyn traps where neither Caitlyn can actually move in their lane at all. So
they're going to freeze each other is what's going to happen.
Well, keep in mind, you can't leave your lane, you can't walk around, you can't go through the brushes, you actually just have to like stand in your lane. So this lane phase could just end if you get bad trap placement or good trap placement. So I don't know.
Yeah.
This is gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, like I said, it's not so much about freezing the minions; it's about freezing your opponent in place, fearful of walking over a trap. But you would have to think, especially Saskio, if he can stay healthy enough, he can actually walk over a trap or two and take the punishment if he's planning on going back, because he could just use teleport to come back in. Now, Smite, I don't really know what he's going with the Smite here. That means he can pick up Smite items, or like jungling items.
Yeah, no. Well, you can't farm jungle camps anyway, so
right.
That would be pretty bad.
Yeah, of course. But he can pick up jungling items to try to maybe get an extra. Well, the game normally doesn't go long enough to get that much gold to buy a big jungling item to affect your Smite. Because I guess Challenger Smite would be all right, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
You'll never have that much gold anyway.
Yeah, I didn't think it'd make it to that point either.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for our champion picks for our 5th best of 1v1 today in the ASUS All-Star Weekend. Sorry, my
You can just say all Fekka's weekend if it's going to be easier on you to say.
Yeah, well, I have to be talking about stars in order to do that, so that's why that's not an option.
You called me a black hole earlier.
I did.
The hell? Which, by the way, black hole more powerful than a star. How about that?
Yeah, but it's dying stars too, and that's what you're gonna be doing a lot of tomorrow.
Hold on, black holes are already dead stars, if I recall. They're just they just become a new life form. Yes. Here's the traps. Already setting those up. Now this is interesting. In Ganks We Trust actually started Piltover Peacemaker first. So not going with that trap line of scrimmage we were talking about. Sasuke, he's going to be zoning off in Ganks We Trust here. So it's going to be interesting seeing how these two start and how they affect the gameplay.
All right, well, should be seeing the game appear on your screens as if by magic there in just a second, and indeed you do. So, yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for this one as we get down to it. You can just see those traps laid out there. In Ganks We Trust, it actually started with Piltover Peacemaker, and traps are so good in this matchup. So I don't know. I definitely think Sasuke, put on his thinking cap before he started this game.
I mean, well, this is just a standard Caitlyn start. Anyways, nowadays you normally start traps, and it's for reasons like this. You can zone off. I mean, it's the same reason why you would do it in a bot lane. You just want to zone off your opponent, and we see it's not really working. Ganks We Trust just walks through the traps, and where everything is good to go. All right, but that means that he doesn't have too much backup room. That does mean that Sasuke, he knows exactly the pathing that in Ganks We Trust is going to take, which could be advantageous if he can, whenever he gets to level 2.
This Caitlyn auto attack sound is going to get really old really fast.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're both using the same skin too.
Yeah, and you can only have 3 traps at level 1, so you definitely, if you put points in traps, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to deal the same amount of damage, because in Ganks We Trust, like, he took the Piltover Peacemaker, so he's actually looking to deal that damage.
Yeah, and okay, so I'm kind of getting the smite now, and I think you might have mentioned it here, but let's see. We'll repeat it here. So, obviously, Sasuke, he wants to... oh, hold on. A little bit of dueling here going back and forth, but... Yeah. The health bar's about relatively the same there. Now, Sasuke, he's... obviously, he's not going to want to try to, like, duel 1v1 and try to outright kill your opponent. As a Caitlyn ADC, you're going to want to try to farm up into a 100 CS. So, I guess the smite actually does make sense, because that tries to ensure that you're not going to miss as much CS. Of course, you just missed a cannon minion, so...
Yeah, that's actually a huge deal. Cannon minions in 1v1s are like your lifeblood. That's basically a potion right there. It's 150 health that you just lost because you didn't hit that cannon minion, so... This is pretty crazy to watch all this crazy 1v1 action. It's crazy, 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 crazy town. And so we're actually seeing primarily Piltover Peacemakers be used for wave clear, just to shove the wave as quickly as possible, just to get yourself in a better position. But in Ganks We Trust actually has much more mana. Much more manas. But, oh, look, they're just trading the Piltover Peacemaker so much. Oh, that headshot. So brutal.
Nice 90 caliber Neb by Ganks We Trust. Actually got a huge advantage on the Sasuke, but he answered it back, kept his cool. But now Sasuke, he's actually out of mana, so he needs to be careful.
Got clipped by that too.
Yeah, dodge those. Needs to dodge those for sure. He is actually winning in the CS right now.
Now, one difference, Warlord's Bloodlust is the passive there for Sasuke, so he wanted to drop down very low in HP and then auto-attack the minions to get tons of lifesteal back. Whereas in Ganks We Trust took the other route and went with Grasp of the Undying to get continual health steal over the course of those extended trades.
Yeah, and like I said, it's going to be interesting. But both of them started differently as far as their abilities, and both of them are, taking a different.
Oh my gosh!
Mastery. So, hold on.
Sasuke came back to lane. Oh my gosh! And Ganks We Trust might just die right here.
Piltover Peacemaker.
Oh my gosh! He got it.
He leveled 2 into that Piltover Peacemaker, so did extra damage. Probably more so than he thought. He may have thought that he leveled up the traps, but got a little bit more damage on the Piltover Peacemaker and leveling it to level 2. And with no minions blocking it, got the full damage on it. Very nice play by Sasuke.
Wow. Yeah, and Sasuke, more importantly, that's what we talked about, the non-interactive way to play. You just teleport back to lane, have that extra Doran's Blade, and more importantly, because he got back to lane so quickly with the teleport, in Ganks We Trust really just didn't see it coming and wound up getting taken out. So unfortunately, not going to be advancing any further there. And Ganks We Trust had no ganks to trust in, because it was just a 1v1, Vekaz. Unfortunately, it does not work.
Yes, it was. And Sasuke, he's top lane. He's used to being on an island, so he was just fine in that one. And yeah, very, Very well played. Very nice Piltover Peacemaker by Saskio. So he is going to advance, and I believe it is now Saskio versus Chody Walrus. Am I right?
Indeed, it is. That is going to be
Okay.
our next upcoming matchup. So you guys get hype for what is going to be the culmination of the ASUS All-Star Weekend. Chody Walrus versus Saskio. We had 3 Maryville players compete in this tournament. Now only 2 remain. But who will take home the ASUS All-Star Weekend grand prize and trophy? Just kidding, there aren't either one of those. But we're going to have a lot of fun, and hope you guys are having fun too. Big thanks to ASUS Republic of Gamers for helping us have so much fun. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back after a short breakerino with the culmination of the ASUS All-Star Weekend.
Skating on the surface of what might have been. Do you wanna be set free? Voices in the sound of the cracks all singing to me. Do you wanna be set free? If you come back looking for me, keep your eyes off the ground. Let me hear you take off for a drive. If you come back looking for me, if you come back looking for me, if you come back looking for me, I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we were thankful enough, thanks to Clear Game Maryville University Esports, to get a quick interview with the winner of our last 1v1, Saskio. So let's go ahead and let you guys hear exactly what Saskio had to say about his win in the last game.
How do you feel after beating in Gangs We Trust to make it to the finals of the 1v1 tournament in C-Star League?
I don't know. I just played Caitlyn.
Hello, Cat God. This is a loser over here. This is the face of a loser. How does it feel to be the only Maryville player not in the finals?
Feels fucking great.
It does feel great, doesn't it, Cat God? Well, we're about to watch our grand finals here of the ASUS 1v1 tournament here momentarily while we get into that. So I'm certainly super happy about the way things have turned out so far. And we should be getting back into more 1v1 action here in just a second, so stick around.
Walking on ice, paper thin. Skating on the surface of what might have been. Do you wanna be set free? Voices in the sound of the cracks all singing to me. Do you wanna be set free?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ASUS All-Star Weekend. My name is Reed Rapid Melton. Joining me once again is Joshua Fekez, Quest, and of course all of you wonderful people. So thanks for coming out and tuning in. Our final game, Chody Walrus, Saskio, both Maryville players, teammates, and now enemies. As they're going through the picks and bans phase, Saskio banning out Lee Sin, Gragas, and Zed. Whereas Chody Walrus is going to ban out Darius, Victor, and Caitlyn. So a lot still left open. Both players are ready, and we are about to get into our final game.
Final, yeah. It's still a best of one, but it's a 1v1 against, between, I should say, two Maryvilles. We already saw that earlier. Of course, Chody Walrus did beat out Cat God earlier in the evening. But now he has to try to prove his merit against Saskio, who he banned away Darius from Saskio, which is which is interesting. You wouldn't think Darius in a 1v1 when you could predict that he might be picked would be a huge threat, but Saskio is that good on Darius, and Chody Walrus just locked in something very interesting.
He certainly did.
I don't know how I feel about that. I think I almost rather take a Warwick mid, but I don't know. Maybe.
Well, that gives away that it's not a Warwick mid, Fekez.
Yeah, it does, and I took that risk. Because I don't think we'd ever see that ever again.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we're about to get into it. Chody Walrus has locked in his champion. Saskio is still thinking about his. I think his choice is perhaps...
a little better, maybe?
No, I don't know, man.
Maybe ASUS, maybe.
Okay, well, they're both locked in. All right,
we're gonna find out.
Yeah, give us a few seconds until both players are actually into the game, and then we'll be getting into this, man. We've had a lot of AD carry matchups, but this is not going to be one of them. Go ahead and transition and reveal to you our picks. Chody Walrus with an Elise facing off against Saskio's Nidalee. So it's a little interesting. So spears are not going to be very easy to land through the minion wave, and Elise does have a lot of burst damage from spider form. She can repel onto you through the minion wave, so that's, I guess, one way to do it. But Nidalee burst damage is pretty high, and they're both running ignite. And
also, if Chody Walrus times the transformation to a spiders properly, it can actually block the javelin tosses with the spiderling. So that's also a big factor going into this one. Of course, it's blind pick. He wouldn't have known this is going to happen, so he just picked Elise because he wanted to play Elise. But now, with that being said, he is very comfortable on Elise. He's a big Elise player when it actually is the 5 members of Maryville playing. So he's very comfortable, very, very comfortable on Elise, I should say. But also, on the other side of that, Nidalee is also a big jungler at one time. Sometimes, every now and then, still happens. So Chody Walrus definitely knows the ins and outs of Nidalee as well. Now, how Saskio is going to build Nidalee, that's the interesting part. You said we don't have ADCs. Nidalee, can be a pseudo ADC. Also has a heal, which is huge in these 1v1s.
All right, well, this is going to be our final 1v1 of the night, so I hope you guys are pumped for it. Let's go over some quick runes and masteries for both of these players. So they are, both running 12-18-0, which basically means you take all the ability power stuff and Thunderlord's Decree. The only minor differences between both of these players, just kidding there. Okay, so Saskio is actually taking Feast, whereas Chody Walrus is taking Double-Edged Sword, because in his melee spider form, he actually gets the benefit there. Of course, Saskio's got a melee form too, so he could have done that as well. One interesting thing is that, as far as runes are concerned, Saskio has taken attack damage, ability power, and armor, whereas Chody Walrus has taken attack speed, magic resistance, cooldowns, armor, and ability power. So I don't know, it's pretty interesting, but I like the Elise just like crazy burst you down, kill you instantly damage. Plus Elise can turret dive and then repel to block turret shots. So that's another thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get up a few levels to actually withstand that, because one turret shot can make or break anybody in the 1v1. We're gonna see how that goes. I love Maryville's Twitter right now. They're posting these hype videos. Clerky actually is recording, since they're all in the same room, recording these and posting them on their Twitter. So definitely go check that out at MU Esports on Twitter. It's pretty entertaining because Chody Walrus is trash talking so much.
Oh my gosh. Indeed, he is. Gotta rep the collegiate players out there. But yeah, here we go. We are actually loading into our final game. This is the grand finals for all the marbles. Just kidding, we're not even giving away marbles. This is, and especially because these two players are on the same team, there's just that much more on the line. I think Clerky was overheard, promising to, kick the one that lost. Maybe this is, could be the last time we see some of these players. I don't know.
All right, I make fun of Cat God because he's on your team, but you don't want to kick Cat God. He's like one of the best collegiate mid laners that you have or you can find. So don't kick Cat God for losing earlier.
All right, well, we are about to get into it. Our final game of the day. Hope you guys are super pumped. I know I am, and let's go ahead and get this underway. Saskio, not in the blue. Saskio is, in fact, in the red. So let's go ahead and quickly update that and move everything around. But yeah, here we go. We are into it. Our final game of the night.
Yeah, we have Doran's ring starting from both sides. Where Saskio is taking those biscuits, while Chody Walrus sticking with the health pots, the normal health pots. So going to have Saskio. Dude, I'm really afraid for Chody Walrus here. Saskio, you bring in the Nidalee. It's you're seeing these Grasp of Undyings being brought out, in order to try to get more health back. But with Nidalee, you already have like a sustain. You have a heal. And that's I think that's really huge in 1v1s. Both of these champions, both these players, they're taking Thunderlords. So we'll see how that one pans out for both of them because Chody Walrus, all he has are health pots to sustain himself.
Oh man! All right, well, let's go ahead.
Man, indeed.
Yeah, let's talk about what to expect here. So you're probably not going to see turrets die. You're probably not going to see the 10-minute mark hit. You're probably not going to see 100 CS realistically. You're just going to see these guys kill each other. So because no one's bringing teleport, that means that whoever wins like the initial sort of sustain trade is probably going to come out on top because they'll force the other person back to base. They'll get an opportunity to recall and might have a little bit more gold that way. So be interesting. Saskio might be at a little bit of a disadvantage here because he can't hit spears and it's going to be really difficult to get that hunted mark onto Chody Walrus. If he does, then that's a ton of damage. But in the same way, Chody Walrus is going to have a little bit of a rough time landing like explosive volatile spiderling. And he's probably not going to get to auto attack a whole lot in spider form because Saskio will just pounce away. So some questions to be answered. We'll see how both players play it.
Yeah, both of them just playing it passive, farming. Can't really expect anything else. I mean, from two jungler type champions who are, typically don't have the strongest level 1. Especially if you don't land javelin tosses, which, yeah, like you said, it's going to be so hard for him to land javelin tosses. This is and the same way for Chody Walrus with the cocoons. You're not really going to be able to land a cocoon to really stop Saskio in his tracks. But if Saskio pushes up like this, may be able to land a spear behind or underneath the turret onto Chody Walrus, which is something to consider.
And Chody Walrus is doing so good at lasting the under turret. That's honestly pretty impressive.
He's taxed. He taxes quite often.
Does indeed.
The only thing I can think of. Let's see here. And yeah, he's actually freezing the wave very nicely too. Oh, there's a spear.
All right, so it is possible to land those. Oh, when he gets the cannon minion. Okay, so Chody Walrus has successfully redeemed himself. He does get that cannon.
Yeah, Chody Walrus, he's so this is gonna be, I don't know, this is an uphill battle for I feel like both champions, both players. I mean, I don't really know who has the advantage, but yeah, as we see, Saskio, he can land these javelin tosses through the minions at that, so
no,
does have a little bit of experience there.
Did you know, Fekis?
Test me.
Elise's auto attack range is actually 25 longer than Nidalee's. So
I did not know that.
It is. Nidalee has a 525 range auto attack. Elise has a 550 range auto attack. What Elise does not have is, self-healing. I mean, potions are great and everything, but Saskio, Nidalee, just lost half his health, and he's already back up to full.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, both the sustains. It's going to be interesting. Because, again, Chody Walrus, he only has health pots. He's actually down health pot. Gets hit with a spear. Saskia not going to go into a big minion wave, though. That would be very, very not advantageous for him.
Very not advantageous.
Yeah,
It's almost like it's
I-
unadvantageous.
Thank you. I didn't know if that was a word, Man. I don't need to speak well in order to beat you tomorrow. So
I don't need to talk good. Just
I said-
kidding.
I said speak well.
Okay, well,
Speak
good.
properly. I don't know, man.
Well
for me.
played, Fekez.
Shut up. You're gonna lose tomorrow. Just deal with it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna deal with it by celebrating my victory. That's how I'm gonna deal with it.
That's not the scenario we set up here.
Well, the scenario that these players have set up here is one of a lot of aggression and a whole lot of not a whole lot. So that's super cool. Oh man, Cocoon
there's
does
a
land
Cocoon
Saskiel!
landing, ignite his down,
Holy
Chody
cow,
Walrus!
Chody Walrus!
He's gonna beat you tomorrow. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh, he takes out Cat God, his teammate. He takes out Saskio, his teammate. And thankfully, because I caught it in time, we can actually get an instant replay of exactly how this transpired. You can see Saskio just walks a little bit too far forward. The minion dies, and an immediate Cocoon right into it. The volatile Spiderling hits. And there it goes. Chody Walrus, congratulations on picking up the win. That is going to do it. That's the right splash screen. Congratulations, Chody Walrus. He picks up a win in the ASUS All-Star Weekend. He is your ASUS All-Star 1v1 League of Legends champion.
And come tomorrow, he's going to also be the ASUS All-Star 5v5 champion representing Fekez, which truly, I mean, let's face it, I'm going to be the champion here.
Well, you know what they say, if wishes were horses, Fekez would have them, because that's the only thing he's going to have, not a victory tomorrow. Yeah, that's exactly what they say.
Whatever you say, bro.
Indeed it is whatever I say. What a world to live in. Fantastic. Pretty exciting to see that, and I think probably, at least to me, one of the most exciting things so far has been the interviews that have been being put on by Maryville. So in honor of that, I thought we might actually just show you guys the winner's interview for Chody Walrus from Maryville Esports. So here you go. It's actually not playing audio. That's highly unfortunate, which means that I need to just try it out now.
Shit, baby! I don't know these people! Here's your 1v1 champion, Cody. How do you feel to have bested the other 3 Maryville players in the 1v1 tournament?
How are these guys on my team? Let's be honest here.
Okay, how are these guys on my team? Well, probably because they're good at League of Legends, just maybe not so good at 1v1s, but damn.
It's a team sport.
It is a team force. It's a team sport. And as far as teams go, Maryville University have been incredible this season. They crushed everything in their path, and now we get to take them and 3 other teams to DreamHack in the CSL Grand Finals. Of course, brought to you guys by ASUS Republic of Gamers, who have also brought to you guys this All-Star Weekend. So if you guys think that ASUS is as awesome as I think ASUS is, hit them up on Twitter. Tweet at ASUS_ROG and be like, yo, I like that ASUS All-Star Weekend. That is awesome, or stuff like that. You'd be like, I think at Rapid Casting is totally going to win the All-Star 5v5 tomorrow. Just throw that in there too.
You could also say, I'm going to rep hashtag God Squad because Fekez is a winner and so am I.
Yeah, I believe I said yesterday that my elite fleet was going to turn your God Squad into a poop troop.
Yes,
Yes, indeed. TROUPE, so that Shakespeare's happy somewhere.
Oh my God.
Either way, that's going to do it for our ASUS All-Star Weekend. Hope you guys had a good time. I had a great time, too. If you guys would like to have a great time with us, you can follow us on Twitter at RapidCasting and at PHEQES. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. There's going to be more ASUS All-Star Weekend action going on over the course of the entire weekend. So I hope you guys are ready for some more of that. You can find more information about that by heading over to cstarleague.com. We've got schedules and all that kind of crazy information. I'm just going to go ahead and link it in chat if you guys want more info on on this All-Star weekend. So we've got a lot of All-Star stuff and goodness and other things going on. I hope you guys will continue to consume that. We got CSGO happening at 6 p.m. Pacific time for 1v1 skills. I think that is the next thing coming up because we have canceled our Dota 2 tournaments. So super big thanks to everyone for participating. Congratulations once again to Chody Wallers and Maryville University for doing so well in the ASUS 1v1 tournament. That's all for us here tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you later.